What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Podcast, episode 303. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And we're looking for Tangerine with Adam.
This week we watched A Writer's Odyssey,
Yes.
or as I like to call it, Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
I mean, and a dream. It was a fever dream, kinda.
Yeah. It was so the reason that I suggested, because I've seen clips from this movie for years at this point.
Yeah,
You
we
know?
watched that one clip the night where the dude, the suit came off of him and fought everybody.
Yeah. And that was the thing. Like, even before it was released, there was certain scenes, like that scene was on Facebook.
Yeah.
People were sharing it. This movie looks incredible, blah blah blah. And then it just kind of went away. It came out, this, that, and the other. And I've always wanted to check it out because I thought that, like, that sequence where that suit is just fucking those dudes up was really, really cool.
It was.
And whenever you read the synopsis, it's like a writer's writing a story and it's affecting the real world. And it's like, how do these things, how does all this stuff kind of mesh together and everything? And, they did something with it.
They didn't explain how that worked.
Well, when at the
No.
end, I'm sitting there like when he's like, it's over, dude's gonna die, you're gonna get framed with it. And I'm like, but wait a minute, what about the sore on your head?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if that
right?
world's not connected to this world, then what's that about?
Yeah.
But it was. I liked it because it was original, and like for these CGI fest movies, most of them are based on something. I mean, this seemed like it might have been, but maybe not. I don't know. But having been someone who watches anime and all that kind of shit, it was easy to slip right in, even with the shitty dub.
Yeah, you just turn your brain off, watch this movie.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Dude, when he fought Sauron,
it was a
Oh
good
my-
time.
yeah.
that thing was
Well,
fucking crazy.
Yeah. And the thing is like the way that they built everything up and everything was like a sequel's going to happen, right?
Well,
It
it
felt-
could,
Well, you saw
It
the
felt-
cutscene at the end, right?
Yeah.
Y'all saw the
I
credit
saw
scene where he's
Yeah.
sitting under the tree, and it's like,
that. Yeah.
okay,
Well, I feel like it just lets you know he made it out. And, you could, if you wanted to look at it through the one and done perspective, him in the armor, they're thick as thieves, and they go on to do their thing.
dude. When he
Yeah.
crumbled that armor up, I was like, it ain't dead. It did that on its own earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it felt very much like Night Watch, kind of. You know what I mean? You know how like Night Watch was like, it just kind of drops you into this world. It is what it is. And then
Mhm.
you wait for the sequel to come out. And then that's when it really starts diving into what this world is, the implications of everything.
Yeah,
And that's how I felt about this one.
and
All these
And
people had
the-
powers too in the real world.
yeah,
There's more to it, I think.
The
Yeah.
first hour of this movie is so much movie.
Yeah, right.
Like, you've got the fantasy plot going, you've got just the concept that it's in someone's imagination. Then you have the fact that that going on is affecting a world where there's not necessarily a bunch of metahumans, but there are some. Some of them have really high, a bit like traits and abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like they throw it all at you at once, and at first you're just like, what the hell is going on?
Little
Yeah.
never-ending story touch, kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be the next step for people who like movies like Sucker Punch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It had a very much that kind of vibe to it for sure. I wish that they would have spent more time in the fantasy world. Personally, I wish they would have, because like the Crimson Knight thing was awesome.
Yeah.
The armor thing was awesome. Like the fight scenes and everything was
Oh.
really, really cool.
Red mane.
Yeah, Red Mane. That was I really liked the design and that whole sequence with the fight and
like
everything that happens. Like, it
drums
was
are
really
getting
cool.
louder.
I felt
not
like
drums,
I
it's
felt
his
like
heart.
I felt like the real world side of the story was very convoluted is an
Yeah,
understatement, you
yeah,
know, because
very.
you've got the whole assassin plot line, get his daughter back,
Did y'all think that
and
woman was
then
his daughter?
Yes.
I thought it the whole
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
I was and with Griffin talking about a sequel, I was like, I wonder if that
Yeah.
would be a reveal.
I thought that they were going to get Old Boy with it for a second.
Oh.
Like that, you know what I mean? Like that's his
Yeah.
plan all along. Some weird incestual.
Tangerine!
Yeah.
So they have this movie on archive.org,
Oh,
but there
okay.
was no subtitles, but it wasn't dubbed.
Okay.
I pulled it up because I was like, man, if I could watch this on something that doesn't have these fucking commercials, because god damn,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah.
Every fucking little bit, it's like commercial. And I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, dude.
You
You
know
dragging
what you
this out.
can. You know what you can do though. I've done this before.
Browser.
You can upload it to Plex, and then you can search the.
Oh yeah, use their like database.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if they don't
I was
have it, you
already
can
watching
find
it.
it. Yeah.
Just FYI, the browser version of Tubi,
Yeah, if you
Mhm.
have ad block on, it won't do that.
yeah, it'll keep
And
it
that's
a
what I
seamless
should have done. I
play.
should have come in here and hit stream from my browser to my Chromecast instead of doing it from my
Yeah.
phone. It's what I should have
That's
done, but
I didn't know that you
I
could
was
do that.
already in it.
Yeah. But
Oh, well, and what was cool is and I know we have no affiliation with Tubi, but it was my first time using it on the PC because it's standard on a lot of smart TVs nowadays, but using it on the PC just like any other video service, it's free like YouTube and stuff. You literally can just search it, pull it up, and have it go, and you don't have to sign in or
Yeah,
have an
which is
account
crazy,
with them or
right?
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, I was very impressed at how
Yeah.
streamlined it was for me to pull it up and watch
Now, if you do it on the phone, it will make you, on the app, it will make you log in, but on the computer, you just watch whatever, because it'll still play ads
Yeah.
if you don't have
Yeah.
ad block. But I like Tubi, man. There's a lot of good free services out
Dude.
there, Freevee and
There was so many foreign films because after I searched for that, then it started recommending stuff to me. There's so
Oh
many
yeah,
foreign films on there, and I had no idea that Tubi had it like that. So like,
yeah, and a lot of them look like they were now.
it was great quality.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
for sure. I had no issues on my end. What, but what y'all were saying with the all the extra films that are on there. When this one went off, I noticed that there was just a slew of other movies, in the same vein, I assume. But the thing with this movie is that with a lot of these other Asian adventure stories, they kind of teeter on the $5 bargain bin.
Yeah.
yeah, right, yeah,
Um, you know, I honestly now like on being on the other end of this movie's viewing, I would not have mind. I wouldn't have felt ripped off if I'd paid ticket price at the theater.
no, not
Like,
at all.
granted, I wouldn't have been walking out being like, dude at the end of the Breakfast Club, fist pump in the air, but like, I
But
would have,
satisfied.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, it wasn't terrible at all. Like like I said, it would have worked better in my opinion if it would have either been A, setting up for a sequel, or B, even a TV series or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they're
I think another good 2-hour movie like this would have fleshed this story out perfectly, and it been a good 1-2 punch.
yeah. I love that the ending fight with the armor and everything where he like saves his life and everything. Because like just that whole back and forth that those characters like the armor and the guy have and everything, like I loved all that stuff. It was so fun to watch.
Well, like, and for me, I feel like a lot of a big turn off point for people is going to be probably the dub, because I'm pretty sure there was only like 4 people that voiced this whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And the line delivery was kind of flat in some parts, particularly over the dub
It
of the
was
child.
better on the
Yeah.
when I pulled it up on what you call it, archive.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I skipped ahead just a little to see if it was dubbed, and it was the scene where he's fucking those dudes up in that truck.
Yeah.
You know, and he was like, ooh, you know?
Well, see,
And like,
yeah,
they're not
for
saying
sure.
like tangerine.
Yeah,
It sounds a
and
lot
for sure
different.
and yeah, man, and it normally when it comes to stuff like this, I've trained myself to just bite the bullet and read a subtitled version and just deal with the voice acting language barrier, you know. Simply because it is better and it's more engrossing. But you know, with us, you know, being American here, you know, we have at least I know with me growing up, like with Dragon Ball and stuff, just dealt with the dubs of animes and any kind of story like that. Even like the old Bruce Lee movies, where you know you have the out of sync lips and
Yeah.
voice
Yeah.
acting. You know, it's just always been a staple, and I feel like if 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 you can get past that, then there's a lot to enjoy about the movie. But I feel like that's probably the big filter
It
of a
kind of
film.
makes it
Has to
cheesy
be.
with the.
It
You gotta
does.
look past it. Like I would have rather had it subtitled.
Yeah. Right.
Better performances, but you know, this was one of the highest grossing Chinese films of the year when it came out,
I mean,
and they will be
can
making a
believe it.
sequel.
Okay.
I just read an article here. It is based on a book.
So do you guys ever watch movies and the film
All the time.
just let me breathe when I'm talking, guys. God, no. But for real, whenever you're watching a movie and the movie's tone and lighting, it captures like a lighting and feeling you've experienced in the real world,
Yes.
and kind of harkens to others. Like the whole time I'm watching this movie, I just imagine that like it was like a sunny afternoon.
Yeah, like when they're out there in that grass and he's riding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, dude, that city looked crazy. Like the one in the real world, which was a real place. I'm like, how tall they make these fucking apartments?
Yeah. Right.
So you said this was based on a book?
Yeah, a novel.
Okay.
It was adapted from, but the sequel will continue the protagonist's adventures. So it will be, you know,
Okay. Yeah.
we'll finally get more of the real world. I bet that's his
Okay.
daughter, dude.
And I bet it's gonna break down the Aladdin group more and probably dive into why there's humans with
powers
like enhanced.
and
why
it was so important for him to kill him and
Yeah.
Well, now that I think about it, that's so. If that was his, all right. So according to the movie, the author or the writer was the son of the Aladdin Group's business partner at one point.
Yeah.
it seems like he kind of fucked him over, took the business for himself.
Well, now that I think about it, it already explained why the book and everything's happening. That's that dude's ability.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's able to alter reality.
Oh,
he's like Patrick Danville from the Stephen King book Insomnia. Like when he can write and draw shit, it can manifest in the real world.
Yeah, you would definitely want to get rid of him because if he ever found out that you killed his dad, because he's just over here accidentally fucking with that dude.
Yeah,
you know.
So that's. I'm gonna have to look this up and read that. That sounds like a fascinating story, dude.
Well, dude, like when he was like a scar from a very long time ago. He's Red Man.
Which I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
my.
It is the never-ending story, but through the perspective of an author.
Yeah. I like the design that they had for Redmayne. Like the way that he had the multiple arms and everything, but it was like back to back kind of.
Yeah.
Like some sort of like Hindu war god or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was really doing that one scene where he was like crab walking like on his back.
Oh yeah.
And that dude comes up and he catches the sword. Then that dude, I'm like, where do you get this big ass fucking sword from? You know?
Yeah.
I will say the one part of the movie where the dub's voice acting and the scene lined up nice and was a good shot was actually not a very big action sequence, but it's the one where Redmayne and the other guy, I can't remember his name, they're out under that tree and dude's talking about his father. And he's like, he was my friend. He's like, yeah, like I miss him. Like,
yeah,
shit, you know, that kind of that whole thing unraveling. That was a really good like little moment.
yeah. It was fun though, man. Like I really did enjoy it a ton. It's just like I can't wait for the sequel now.
Yeah.
Because we got so much set up in this, and like I don't know, man. There's something about the Asian fantasy. Just the scope of everything, like they really
It's just so balls to the wall.
They really go in on
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
They don't try to ground it in reality like at all. You know?
Nobody wants to think about reality in China, dude. So.
That's true, yeah. How often were they smoking in this movie too?
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
That one dude at the beginning when he was talking with his little mask on, little Firefox.
Oh.
Yeah. That cigarette. Did you see the cigarette?
When the chick set that tablet down when she was trying to convince dude to go kill the rider, and she sparks one up, my first thought was, man, that's a real clean room you're in, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, they were in that hospital like that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's cool that there will be a sequel.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was content to kind of go the way of, you know, because sometimes a good story always has unanswered questions, and it's what lets it kind of have its, you know, it can, you know, you gotta let it cook.
You gotta let it simmer.
You gotta let it cook, man. And it's what it's those kind of movies where you can have discussions about it years later, like before we got Blade Runner 2049. You know, we had the age-old debate of whether or not Decker was a replicant or not. You know, that was a big thing. Who shot first in Star Wars? All that kind of stuff. And I was willing to chalk that up in this movie as stuff like that. But that's cool that we will get more. And that there, well, at least knowing that there are the answers out there should, you know, the movie for some reason not get made.
Not manifest itself.
Do they know if it's in pre-production or anything?
Well, that article was in 2021. I just read that. They were like, there will be a sequel. When I went to the director's IMDb, it wasn't on there yet. But, you know, they do things a little differently.
Now, if they get a hold of Unreal Engine 5, that movie's going to look fucking nuts.
I would imagine COVID there probably fucked that up. Because it was in China where the movie was, you know.
Yeah. But, you know, that would suck if that was the death blow to that. But, I mean, in reality, COVID kind of knocked the world's plans out.
Well, I think it'll get made. It just pushed it back.
Yeah. But, yeah, dude, I give it a full star, man.
Yeah.
This movie is just a full-on adventure.
Yeah.
Not a, you know, if you're an analytical person, it's going to be pretty, you know, shortcomings for you, but, you know, fuck you anyway.
It was fun, man. It was a fun time. And like there's so much stuff that I'm just like D&D. You know what I mean? Like,
well, there's so much stuff that it pulled from, like not pulled from, but just there's so much aesthetics that it calls to now when you watch it.
Yeah.
Because like first time I started, like whenever they showed the tree and the gold leaves, my first thought was like Elden Ring, which I know this was before that, but I was still like, oh, it's the Earth Tree. That's where they're at. Like, and everything from like even the fighting from the CGI to the actual hand-to-hand choreography, it was all good.
Yeah.
When they did that raid and they brought in those like dragon like airships and dropping the oil.
Yeah.
And then you just start seeing they raised that thing to the ground quick.
When the arrows come out and those two women are dancing.
Yeah, it's like,
then they
whoa.
point and the arrows go, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Oh.
It was their equivalent of the Fury Road bass player.
Yeah. It's good though, man.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
full star, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
I might pull that armor idea around.
It was
Just
pretty
have
cool.
it.
Had an eye and it was talking.
Yeah.
Whenever it like stopped talking, I was like, man, good time to wake that motherfucker up, dude. Like,
Well, it's like that armor is like a mashup of Soul Edge meets the Berserker armor.
with oh shit, that Sony movie, Hungry.
Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of
You
had
know
a
what I mean?
Venom film, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Puny
What are you
human.
doing? Yeah. Yeah. Dude, the guy that had it before,
Oh yeah.
the way that he rolls in,
When
like,
he come
dude,
running out there,
yeah, dude,
I was
and it
like, who's
wasn't
this
cheesy.
motherfucker?
Yeah, this dude's about to wreck somebody's face off, dude. Good
No,
stuff, man.
those voice actors seem very familiar. The one that was the author and the one that did the voice acting for the author, or writer, whatever, and I guess they kept the characters carry over so you could distinguish who's who, of course, but some of them seemed familiar, particularly him. Like I think I've heard him do a lot of anime.
So
Well, when you go
yeah.
look, I don't know if it'll give you the dub voice.
I found a website that's
Oh.
got it. So the guy that played Guan Ning, which was the main guy, the rock guy, hey, he did. He hasn't done a lot, actually. I mean, the Cliff Walkers, the Pact, the Colony, Vanishing, the Highwayman, those are all movies. This is the only dubbing.
Hmm.
Well, they're all using that generic voice too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's that, you know,
Yeah.
generic, no accent.
Yeah, most of these people they haven't done a lot. They all come from a lot of the same movies, like The Highwayman, Cliff Walkers, Vanishing, The Exorcism of God, which is like, what? What's that about? You know, like, what?
I didn't know the sequel to Hellraiser was already out.
Yeah, right. So good stuff though, man. Excited, like when the sequel comes out, we'll definitely have to throw it on the pile.
Oh yeah.
Because I would love to see a follow-up on that. So The Last of Us.
Filler.
I mean, yeah. But you know, they had to show like
DLC.
what. Yeah, it was DLC.
So yeah, filler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
It
right.
really was filler.
But it wasn't bad though. Like I enjoyed the episode.
But here's see, this is one of the reasons, Griff, why I have to be your devil's advocate when it comes to like when you're like, man, I really want a story. They should totally make a series out of it. This is exactly why I don't think there should be, man. It's a 9-episode run, and we have 2 filler episodes.
Yeah, but they're very
It was actually
well
part of
done
the game.
Yeah, very well done filler episodes though.
Well, this one was actually
I
part of
imagine
the
you
game.
like
The other
grabbing
one
your
wasn't.
laurels with that. Like they were well made. Like come on
Yeah.
now. But that's my thing though. We're so far in now. We've got 2 episodes left.
One.
Well, we've got to make with the fucking Joel and Ellie story, dude. Like,
Well, and I think that the next episode's probably going to be like an hour and a half long. If I had to imagine, I have a feeling it's going to be like an hour and a half long.
It is one, right?
It's 9 total.
Okay,
Was
yeah.
this
So
7?
yeah, 8's next. Yeah, March 5th. I see.
Okay.
What's weird though is it says they both have 10 episodes, but there's only 9 on there. So I don't know.
I mean, I do agree with you. They're well made, but it's filler.
It was, you know, a little bit of her back.
Yeah.
Since they didn't talk about it too much.
Yeah. And this is what I'll say. I would rather take an entire season of The Last of Us filler than another season of The Walking Dead.
Can't argue with that at all.
I mean, I would much rather.
I was playing devil's advocate. You put on boxing gloves, Griffin. Like, good lord, dude.
I mean, for real though, like I would much rather watch one-off filler backstory episodes in The Last of Us world than to watch whatever the fuck Daryl and Carol and fucking
Oh yeah,
Laryl and Beryl and the rest of the
Cheryl.
fucking the gang are doing.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, a bunch of other made up fuckers that weren't even in the source
You're
material.
not gonna watch the
Yeah.
spinoff
I agree.
with
Fuck
Michonne and
no.
Rick?
Negan? Is it? I thought it was Michonne and Negan.
No, it's Michonne and Rick. It's like I
didn't
think,
know
and like
Three's-
she's gonna have a baby or something like.
I mean,
Shit, Three's Company, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have y'all looked up, whenever you look up The Last of Us on Google, have y'all seen where the little mushroom comes up down there? And if you click it, the fungus grows across the screen?
No, what?
Yeah, right here. There's a little red mushroom there, and when you click it, it grows.
Oh, that's cool. That's pretty interesting. I like that. People are review bombing the episode, Trav.
Why?
I mean, you don't know why.
Why?
Take a guess.
Same
reason they review bombed the other one.
I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Like, and my thing too is like you've got the filler episodes. The filler episode was directly in relation to Joel and the type of person that he is, and the person that he needed to be for this story to finish out. This was a filler episode all about Ellie, revealing like her having a realization of the person that she needs, because he told her to leave. She could have left. Just like, he could have dropped Ellie off on the side of the fucking road and just said peace.
Like he was going to leave her with his brother.
Yeah.
And then he didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And the episode was called Left Behind.
Yeah.
Better run away.
But
yeah.
But I mean, I guess. Well, think about it. With the first quote unquote filler episode and how it pertains to Joel, we needed that for Joel because Joel is a much older character. Like there's like any adult has become a complex character by the time you're fully grown going on.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie, on the other hand, we didn't need an hour of that.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. They could have definitely cut like this in with another episode and dropped it down,
or showing little flashbacks.
Yeah, and they could have had it in relation to like her with the book. That could have been a flashback to when she received the book, and then like maybe they stumble across this thing and there's a flashback. So they could have definitely cut both of their backstories in with like the actual plot that's happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it could have been like, for instance, it could have like some of that monotony could have been broken by having it play out as and I think I've heard you and several other people who've played The Last of Us have talked about how a lot of the story is enriched with just Joel and Ellie walking. Like, you hear the dialogue playing out.
Yeah.
They could have done that where it's, it cuts back and forth between them just making their way.
Yeah.
And, every now and then when she's saying something, let the scene play out.
Yeah. Well, and it's that thing too where it's like they don't, even in the game, if I remember correctly, I know for Joel this stands, but like they don't really talk about themselves in that kind of way. So like them, like with the DLC being Ellie's story, and then some of the things that you pick up throughout the world about Joel's story, you don't get that exposition in the game as much or at all,
Okay.
So it's kind of true to that idea where it's like they're just strictly like in this together. It is what it is at the end of the day. I know that Ellie had she would have a little bit more like conversational pieces where she would talk about like her previous relationship and the person that she lost and all this kind of stuff. But I don't think that she explicitly came out and was like, "There's like this girl that I was in love with, and like we both got bit," until the DLC came out. And you see that, so. But yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, people are review bombing it. I don't. It is what it is. At the end of the day,
even the stuff that I dislike the most, man. Review bombing. That's low hanging fruit, man. That's a shit move. That's a shit move. Like you, if anything, you're promoting it more and getting more people to watch something. Like it's not even about the subject matter. I'm just talking about just
review
properly
in general.
Yeah, well, just properly being able to go, hey, I didn't like that offering that you gave to me, as far as like your opinion based, on something that they released to the public.
You mean
pay
that
with
Nick offering?
You pay with your money and you pay with your viewership. And if you want content that you enjoy, if you want movies that don't suck in your opinion, then if there's enough people that agree with you wholeheartedly and it's not some bullshit agenda that you're trying to pull, chances are if Hollywood doesn't make money off of it, they won't fuck with that property.
Yeah.
Or they'll at least keep rebooting the damn thing until one of them works.
Well, and the idea is like this is like 2050. No, this is 2030, right? Because the
like
outbreak happened in the outbreak
like
happened in 2008. I don't know. Anyway, but like at the end of the day, it's like, first of all, who cares? Second of all, like if you lived in a post-apocalyptic world, and you were able to overcome the odds, whatever the odds are, whether it be like alien invasion, zombies, whatever, then like being in a relationship with anybody is going to be like the least of everybody's worries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if anything, it's going to be one of the most significant things for you, to where the details almost won't matter, because it's like, hey, we got the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That was one of the most significant moments of my life. Like,
yeah,
and I got out on the other end with you. And
so
however the writer wants to shape that, fine, whatever. I don't have a problem with that. I've never had problems on that kind of level. The problems that I have with a lot of the writing and stuff is just when things are just so blatantly agenda driven, and it doesn't enhance a story at all. It doesn't matter. Like,
yeah. Well, and it's that thing too. It's like, well, what did you expect? Like these people live together for God knows how long, in the same room together. Spent all, like, what did you think would happen?
Yeah.
It looked like wherever they were at was split up, meant like guys on one, on one side, girls on the other side. Because when they were running at the beginning, it was all women. It was all chicks. So like, what do you expect
to
is
keep them
going to happen?
separated.
Yeah.
and
So
and once again, I wanna stress the idea that you pay with your wallet and your eyes. And I don't think that, and I'm not saying that to polish up the whole, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. That's not what I mean at all. What I mean is that, like, if Hollywood's not making the money,
they won't. It's also in the game, so
yeah. Well, just I feel like a lot of the review bombs are angled from not even thinking about the story, the context of it, how it's written, all that shit. They see a thumbnail and then they lose their fucking minds.
Yeah.
And it's sad we live in a world that's happening, but what can you do? What can you do?
Yeah. What's more believable though? Like Ron Swanson and his relationship with the man, or Daryl and Carol? You know what I mean? Like, what's a more believable relationship there?
Well, I would have said they were 50-50 until Daryl throws a grenade down a tank fucking barrel and blows it up.
Yeah. That's true. But I can't wait to see like the rest of it. Like it's been so good so far, so I can't wait to see moving forward how they decide to pan the story out and what happens with it. Looking forward to it. It's
Yep.
been good.
Yeah, I mean,
It's been good.
I mean, I mean, when I say it's a filler episode, I wasn't necessarily complaining, but it didn't, you know.
It was filler. I mean, it's
It,
like, let's get back to
Yeah.
the
Didn't
matter
further
at
the
hand
plot.
here.
Yeah.
but
Is our
that,
boy
but
dying
that,
or not? But they just trying to stretch that out. Like,
yeah. But that being said, it's still a good watch, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. But we got a little bit of movie news here. So Jack Black puts himself forward as Superman. DC Studios chief James Gunn approves. Beloved actor and musician Jack Black has put himself forward as the new Man of Steel for James Gunn in the DCU's upcoming reboot, Superman Legacy, taking to social media to don the red and blue suit and demonstrate how well suited he is for the role of the iconic superhero. Black shared an audition video alongside the caption, New Universe, and DC co chief James Gunn is very much on board. What's up, Jamie Gun? I was just taking a nap, Ski Black says in the footage before showing off his affinity for laser vision and taking flight Superman style. Filmmaker James Gunn then responds to the video in the best way possible, saying, I thought we agreed to save this news for Comic Con. While many Man of Steel fans were left disappointed by the news that Henry Cavill will no longer play the role, Jack Black is perhaps the only man who can live up to such a legacy. Black did almost play a DC hero once in a scrap Green Lantern comedy project, and no doubt Superman Legacy could finally allow the School of Rock star to realize his dream. And I've got the video pulled up. I
Yeah.
haven't watched it.
I haven't seen it either.
Dude, speaking of Jack Black being in a superhero thing, I it I would have been totally okay and would have laughed my ass off if they could have made him be the Green Lantern that was on his way to let Krypton know it was like with the technology to save Krypton, and he gets caught up in some dumb shit, and that's why like take a spin on it instead of making it tragic.
Yeah,
and he just wasn't there in time. Have it to where it's still tragic, but you do a comedic spin. You know, go comic book with it. There's supposed to be some comedy in there, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got the video pulled up. I've seen it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so I'm interested to check it out here.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Jablinski. Fucking love Jack Black, dude.
We don't deserve Jack Black at all.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
It really is his dad.
That would be. I would so watch a Jack Black. I mean, I'm in.
Well, dude, and some of this little like one-off stuff he's doing, like with the, you know, some of the off-the-wall characters,
like Suicide Squad
show
type
up in
stuff.
something. You never know.
Yeah, yeah,
but that is funny.
Yeah,
and they're right. If there's anyone that can replace Henry Cavill, it's fucking Jack Black, dude.
Yeah, for sure. You know. Next up here, Hellraiser 2022 gets DVD release, but there's a catch for American audiences. Fans of Hellraiser have recently gotten a classic case of news and bad news. The franchise reboot, described as a loyal yet evolved reimagining of Clive Barker's 1987 horror classic, received a wide release as a Hulu original last year. This year, on March 27th, it will be made available on DVD. The bad news is that it will only be available in Barker's home country of the United Kingdom. The news in this article comes to us from Bloody Disgusting. Um, David Bruckner served as the director of Hellraiser after previously working on segments of VHS and Southbound, in addition to Netflix The Ritual. The 11th installment of the franchise was written by Ben Collins and Luke Petrowski, who previously served as writing team behind Siren, Super Dark Times, and The Night House. Hellraiser is the only horror movie from last year that was released on streaming and has yet to see physical release in the United States. There's also Prey, starring Amber Midthunder, which was also released on Hulu. There's also Texas Chainsaw Massacre, starring Elsie Fisher, which, unlike the other two, was a Netflix original. All three of them were part of a long running franchise with dedicated fan bases. Of course, the question becomes, if you really need a physical copy of something, if you can still watch it on streaming. The recent shakeups in the recent streaming world provide one reason. If a movie or TV show were to be pulled off of a streaming site without a DVD or Blu ray, then you have no way of watching it. With the Nevers now off of Tubi, some fans may never see the final 6 episodes. Same goes for Miss Fletcher, which is now entirely gone. Additional reasons as to why fans might want a DVD Blu ray copy of their favorite movies or TV shows is still to be able to watch the media if they don't have access to the internet or no longer subscribe to a certain service, or if they want to experience special features that often aren't available with streaming movies. This Collider article from a few years ago outlines other reasons in a similar vein. It's weird that they're just releasing it in the UK, but
Yeah, there's always a way.
well, yeah, absolutely. There's always a way, but and also like maybe because how cool would it be if they made like a special edition box set where it came
Oh yeah.
with the box you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or I could see them waiting until like a specific anniversary to maybe release the original and it in a combo pack or something. You know what I mean? Like there's ways around it for sure, you know?
See, that's a Hulu.
Um,
Like Hulu's like, no, if you want to watch it, you have to watch it here.
yeah, exactly. But with it being I mean, it's a year now, right? Maybe I mean, it's getting close to being a year out. So, like, I think if everybody that was gonna watch it has watched it by n you would
Well,
think
Dropped in
anyway.
September.
well, and
Uh,
I think more more importantly is the point this guy makes for physical media.
Because they can just take shit down.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, they've done this to people that have paid for stuff. I keep seeing more and more
and
videos where people talk about, they're like, I had stuff that I bought on Amazon and now it's just
Yeah.
gone. They can just take it down.
and
Yeah.
and you know it's easy to forget because it so much gets put out all at once that it's such a lucrative and saturated market. But at the end of the day, motion pictures are a form of art,
Yeah.
and to be able to
Absolutely.
just remove it and just have it wiped off is a crime to the creators, man.
Yeah. Especially whenever you're working on a franchise that is one of, like, the most terrifying franchises to work with, not in terms of, like, the horror element of it, the fact that, like, you have such a dedicated fan base to that franchise, and then to be able to pull it off and make an amazing film, that deserves so much recognition. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like if there was a US region for this and it hit shelves today, tomorrow I would go buy it immediately, full price. I enjoyed it that much that it's absolutely worth having a physical copy of, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird like things that with streaming being what it is and then the way that companies are getting scooped up, redistributed. Media's getting redistributed. Like I saw a thing the other day. I didn't read the article, but I saw a headline and I should have read it where it's like Paramount and HBO are fighting over South Park.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I mean,
Which is on
okay, so
both.
yeah, so
Yeah.
what if they pull all South Park down until they get all this straightened out? You know what I mean? There's a way to watch it,
Oh, sure.
but I mean, what are you gonna, what are you gonna have to go through in order to watch it? Like, you know,
And here's the conundrum. And I know it comes down to company and company policies and all of that. But, once again, with the Snyder cut, the fact that it even was able to have a physical release
yeah, right,
is like is insane. But, back to the article, like I would like to have a copy of Prey and
yeah,
even the
right,
new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought all of these newer ones that have come out, they were all solid efforts. And I think they absolutely went above and beyond their counterparts in terms of the sequel genre. Um, with Hellraiser, it made Hellraiser relevant again, in my opinion.
yeah,
And same for Prey. Prey was it was that was a very surprise enjoyment for me.
yeah, for sure. So we'll see what comes of it. I honestly think that there will be, some rectification of this in the future. It's just like, how long is Hulu going to hold out? So
Till
we'll
the
see.
views go down on it.
Yeah, and then they can make another cash
Yeah.
grab at releasing it. So the new Dracula movie will be the scariest adaptation ever, according to Star. Bram Stoker's Dracula has been adapted many times in many different genres. This year, we'll see Nicolas Cage playing a less than serious take on the Count in Renfield. But for those looking for something darker, it seems that the last voyage of the Demeter could be the movie that brings the legendary vampire back to his dark and sinister roots. The movie is based on one chapter from Stoker's novel that is taken from the captain's log of the Demeter, the ship that brings Dracula to Whitby, and finds its crew terrorized by the dark presence they are unexpectedly delivering in their cargo. While the segment of the story has been adapted several times in many of the big screen and TV adaptations of the novel, this is the first time that a whole project has been focused on just that chapter. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is slated to be released in August this year, and one of its stars, David Dasmalchain, Dasmalchain,
I think that's
uh,
Polka Dot Man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's him, yeah, who has been recently known for his appearance in Marvel's Ant-Man franchise, recently discussed how the film would chill the blood of audiences. He told Collider, Andre is a student of and child of grown up on the genre. Horror's his backbone, and he is a true monster kid. He has this deep love and affinity for Bram Stoker's Dracula as I do. His knowledge of the book and his passion for the character is so beautiful, and he's gone this really intense and unique vision and a way of telling stories that is so outside of the box. So anyone who's familiar with his works like Troll Hunter, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, you go, well, this guy never takes a little swing. He takes a big swing. He took a huge swing with this film. I think it's going to scare the crap out of people, but it's also going to be one of those movie experiences that transports you to this other place. I've wanted to watch The Autopsy of Jane Doe for a very long time.
The
And
Crooked
Troll Hunt,
Man from The Conjuring 2 is the guy that played Dracula.
that's cool.
Did
I,
did
I,
did
yeah,
we ever get around to watching Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
I don't think so.
Because I don't know about you guys, but that fucked me up as a kid, that book.
Yeah, yeah, that was definitely a
The one with the woman with the ribbon around her neck.
yeah.
And then whenever she took it off, her head fell off. She was just a
Yeah.
decapitated head tied together. I was like, how elementary kids could read this?
Yeah, right. It's in the book
Like,
fair.
this is fucked
Yeah.
up, dude.
Yeah.
Scholastic, man. I like what you're cooking, but damn, turn the heat down.
Yeah. So I wouldn't mind doing kind of a deep dive on this guy's filmography at some point, especially like this sounds really cool. And it's interesting that they're focusing on a specific chapter, which like go wild with it. And it sounds like the director is. So why not?
Well, we've always pointed out in certain movies and stories that they're like, man, that's just a movie in and of itself, or that's just And it looks
Yeah.
like this guy seems to have a similar view on some things, where he's like, man, that's a whole movie in and of itself.
Right.
Dracula on a ship fucking the crew up, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm down.
And it's interesting that like it was written from the logs of the captain. So I'm assuming it's going to be from the captain's point of view.
If
Which
there's not a part where that ship's just hitting the waves, and you can
Yeah.
sink it to Seas of Salted Blood by Black Dahlia.
Yeah. I mean, look at that picture that they dropped in there for it. I mean, that's pretty legit. So next up here, Attack of the Meth Gator movie teased by the Asylum.
I knew
So
this was going to happen when they released Cocaine Bear. I knew it.
So
we're
the
gonna have drug fueled animal monster movies now.
Yes.
Meth Gator sounds great, though.
A new market has entered the chat.
Yeah. Dude, Meth Gator versus Florida Man?
Shit.
Oh, who's going to win, you know?
I mean,
Florida
So
Man.
yeah, you're right. And then Turtle Man shows up.
He's on meth too, you know?
Yeah. So the Asylum is teasing a Cocaine Bear inspired film about an alligator fueled by meth. As the attention surrounding the release of Cocaine Bear has been immense, the Asylum took to Twitter to unveil a poster for a film they're calling Attack of the Meth Gator. No other information has been revealed, and horror fans are still trying to determine if the poster is a joke or indeed intended to promote an upcoming movie from the film company. Subsequent tweets from the Asylum aren't making things much more clear either. Hold our bear, I mean beer, coming for your life this summer, reads the original tweet, including the Attack of the Meth Gator poster. In response, one person questioning if this movie is real or not, the Asylum responded, "This is real. We're pumping the meth into Florida freshwater reserves as we speak." Using the hashtag we only make documentaries. Another follow-up tweet added, "This is a photo from the film set yesterday. It's real. This is all real. It's always been real." The tweets are clearly being comical, but it wouldn't be a surprise to see the Asylum move forward with something like Attack of the Meth Gator. The indie film company specializes in producing mockbusters that are clearly parodies of more mainstream films. Last year, the Asylum debuted their first mockbuster that screened in movie theaters with the arrival of the Top Gun Maverick inspired film Top Gunner Danger Zone. Some of their other recent titles include Thor, God of Thunder, Battle for Pandora, and Jurassic Domination. See if you can guess which films those are inspired by. So, I mean, we might have to check some of these mockbusters out. Dude.
Yeah, I've pulled up their thing. I was looking at it.
Top Gunner?
Oh, so they did Sharknado.
Okay, that makes sense.
That does make sense.
There's this fucking thumbnail they've got of Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, right. It says right now Top Gunner Danger Zone has a 1.9 on IMDb.
God damn.
We have got to watch it. It's got a 3 out of 5 on Hoopla, 3 out of 5 on Vudu. We've got to see it.
If it mirrors those movies at all, where like it's like America wanted the best pilots, we made them, and then the movie starts, and they're all doing TikTok dances on a fucking naval carrier.
Maybe when Cocaine Bear drops, we should do a whole month of just
mockbusters. Yeah,
I definitely want to watch Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, for sure. Right. So,
dude, We call it Junkie Animal July.
I'm down. So next up here, TV Horror Master has a new Nightmare on Elm Street idea, but doesn't know who to pitch it to. So Mike Flanagan has made a name for himself as one of the go-to names in horror, having delivered shows such as The Haunting of House Hill, Midnight Mass, and The Midnight Club. Now, as well as having his dream of bringing Stephen King's Dark Tower series to life, the writer director also has his sights on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, but has one major problem. Fans of Freddy Krueger have seemingly shut down the possibility of seeing another Nightmare on Elm Street film thanks to their inability to see anything other than Robert Englund playing the role of the Dream Demon. The last attempt to bring Freddy to the big screen was in the 2010 reboot, and the reaction was enough to put off many others even attempting to dip into the franchise. Although England has made a small appearance as the character in a Halloween special of the Goldbergs, he has mostly dismissed the idea of playing Krueger again in any larger capacity. For Flanagan, however, there is another issue to contend with than who wants to play Krueger, and that is who exactly he needs to speak to in order to pitch the Nightmare on Elm Street idea. He told the Script Apart podcast, one of the franchises on my list forever has been A Nightmare on Elm Street. Boy, that would be fun. I have a whole take for it that I worked out a couple of years ago, and my understanding is the right situation for that title is so fraught, no one knows who controls it really, and no one knows who to pitch. So I keep saying to my agents, send me in on Nightmare on Elm Street, and they're like, we'd love to, but we have no idea who you should talk to. And I spent almost a year of my life with a Nightmare on Elm Street star, Heather Langenkamp, and we would talk about it. It's like nobody knows what to do. Since Wes Craven revitalized the Freddy Krueger franchise in '94's Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and fans were given the horror showdown they had been demanding in Freddy vs. Jason, the question of whether the Nightmare on Elm Street IP has anything left to offer is one that has yet to be answered. However, the main issue for Flanagan getting his Krueger revival off the ground is the complex rights issues around the character in the franchise, which are very similar to those faced by the Friday the 13th franchise. Although that particular scenario seems to have been resolved recently, with new movies and a TV show being in the works for Jason Voorhees, whether something like that could happen with A Nightmare on Elm Street is yet to be seen. Nevertheless, it certainly looks like Flanagan uh, has the bit between has the bit between his teeth to get his pitch heard when he can find out who he needs to contact.
As for showing new stuff to the Krueger mythology, I feel like doing a reboot, just keep it simple and give us what we know and just do it in a modern, well shot, well made, revitalization. And then go from there.
Right. Well,
It's,
and
I was
oh,
just
go
going to say
ahead.
it's weird that they didn't mention that he directed Doctor Sleep in that list of stuff
I know,
there.
right?
Well,
That's
Yeah.
something that
well,
I would
well,
definitely you want to put in the article, you know?
Yeah.
well. The fact that Freddy Krueger is based off of like shadow people,
Mm-hmm.
like the Hat Man in particular. If y'all ever read into those myths and stuff, he's based. He's a version of that.
Right.
And doing a film like, and maybe it's because my mind's so warped by A24 films right now, but have it to where you just have a family move into a house, good old fashioned setup. Man, people say they see shit and they don't ever stay here long, and then you find out that it's fucking Freddy Krueger,
Yeah.
and
Well,
have it to where he's, he because the whole idea is you could break down the mythology of like the type of spirit he is,
Yeah.
all that kind of shit.
And it's been
yeah.
13 years. I think enough time has passed to
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
maybe fire up another
Well,
one.
and not only that, but like, the idea, like if they elaborated on the idea of what Freddy actually is and have an idea of like, okay, it kind of because the parents were involved in what happened to Freddy Krueger in real life, right? And that's kind of where a lot of that stuff stems from. Well, enough time has passed where if you wanted to continue the story on, you absolutely could, but it has to be something that is connected. It's like it's like Freddy Krueger manifested itself as Freddy Krueger because of the parents, right? You could look at it that way in a big way, and you could take that idea and run with it. And you could take the idea of like, okay, with sleep technology and like sleep studies and things like that, where can you go with writing a Freddy Krueger story? Like there's a lot of like potential there just on like the
Well,
psychological aspect of
well,
it
yeah,
alone.
you could take you could take the science aspect, like what you're talking about, and let that be the vessel that the audience uses. Like, all right, well, we're going to test this machine on the girl.
Yeah.
Whoever's going to be the one that's going to stand up to Freddy at the end. But you use that to be the launch pad to go from the natural to the supernatural and explain that Kruger's something else.
Yeah.
There's no science for him.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and when you can have that in a scene where that sever happens, where it's like, all right, we're not relying on science anymore now.
Yeah.
You just go off the fucking deep end, and that's when we get all the crazy nightmare scenarios and stuff that he does.
Yeah.
Because
Because it's
play it simple at first. Have him be a typical shadow person, and let that like I really think that they use that as the grounding for it, where it's all right. We're researching this phenomenon. Have that be the one or two hard knock characters that come in and go, we'll figure it out, But you have
yeah.
like actual scientists being like, we think this person's just crazy,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
and just toy with that, and then by like have the movie have this original starting point, but by the end have the story and the audience pulled into like, all right, we're fucking full on Elm Street now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that they could do, and I didn't know that the Elm Street stuff was tied up in issues like Friday the 13th was. Like,
But
that's
it does make sense though as to why we have had 13 years of nothing.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I would like to see Pill's version of Nightmare on Elm you know what I mean? Like, I like the guy that did Doctor Sleep and everything. I've enjoyed the stuff that I've seen that he's done, but could you imagine someone like that getting a hold of the franchise?
Yeah, well,
Well,
Freddy Krueger needs to be twisted.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
You
and,
know,
and and we'll have a moment where when he does inject comedy, Kruger's a good character to do it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I would even
So,
be all right with them bringing back Robert Englund, dude. I mean, he ain't too old to
yeah,
play the part. That's all I'm saying.
no.
Well, I think the problem with Jackie Earl Haley's version was that it was a poorly written movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he did a damn good job as
I
Kruger.
I agree 1000%. I thought that he was perfect for it.
When he was when it finally got around to where he was full Kruger and everything, you're like, hell,
Fruger.
man, he's a perfect passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Because the thing, you know, I'm right there with a lot of the fans of Elm Street. England is Freddy Krueger,
Mhm.
the soul, you would say, or to borrow from Doctor Who, the definitive article, you might say. But if we want the Elm Street property and the legacy to continue, you got to embrace the fact that
Yeah,
someone else is going to have to be Freddy Krueger inevitably.
you got to
Yeah,
get a
for sure.
Skarsgård or something.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they got Pennywise to do it, like but anyway, that would be a little too on the nose, but So there is a clip here, exclusive bunker clip. A soldier is accused of causing trouble in a new horror war flick. And I didn't drop the clip in there. I just wanted to kind of talk about the movie for a second because it sounds interesting.
I just put the
So the
trailer in trailers
okay, so
because
we'll
I
get to
haven't
see
seen
that.
this trailer.
Yeah. So it says produced by Buffalo Filmworks and Crossroad Productions, the new horror war movie Bunker, set to release in theaters on February the 24th, which has already been released. It follows a group of soldiers who become trapped in a bunker during World War I, haunted by an otherworldly presence. The clip begins with a soldier standing on the bunker. I'm not gonna go on.
What was
The
that
future.
movie that Ian McKellen was in? Where he was a World War One soldier and he was trapped in like this. He was trapped in this place and it was like underground and shit. It wasn't necessarily a bunker.
I'm
You have
not
to look
100%.
that up.
Yeah.
Hold on, because I remember watching a movie. I want to say, Adam, me and you talked about it, and I might have actually took the plunge and actually watched it.
So the
Uh,
synopsis reads: Trapped in a bunker during World War One, a group of soldiers are faced with an ungodly presence that slowly turns them against each other. As paranoia and fear grows between them, the men experience the true hell of war.
the
It's kind of
Keep,
like Jacob's Ladder.
A little bit
the
of the
Keep's
thing
what
going
it's
on.
called.
Oh yeah, the keep. Yeah.
It says Nazis are forced to turn to a Jewish historian for help in battling the ancient demon they have inadvertently freed from its prison.
That's an old one. Yeah.
Old.
I haven't seen that, but I
I
wouldn't
watched
mind
it.
peeking.
Garrett turned me on to that one.
1983.
He's like, "You ain't never
hour
seen The Keep?"
36.
I'm like, "No, dude. I was born in
Rated
'87."
R. It's got what a 1983 movie would have. It's about a 5.7 on IMDb rating. So
I like the name of it, and I think it's German. It's called Satan's Borg. Okay. And it's got swastikas on it too. So there's that.
but I recommend The Keep. It's a little different now that I'm looking at it than I remember. But the
It's pretty
whole
good.
soldier trapped in a place, some weird shit's happening. I mean, it's the same idea.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would be down to watch a bunker horror film, you know?
Right. So last up here, Ryan Reynolds is set to star in a boy band comedy. So Ryan Reynolds has just set his next starring role. THR reports that the actor will star in the upcoming comedy movie Boy Band, a film he'll also be producing alongside frequent collaborator Sean Levy. Reynolds will produce under his Maximum Effort banner, while Levy is producing for 21 Laps Entertainment. It's also been noted in the report that Levy might also end up directing the film, but that hasn't been decided as of yet. Reynolds and Levy are currently in pre-production on Deadpool 3 after previously collaborating on Free Guys and the Atom Project. Additionally, Reynolds will have a hand creatively with Boy Band as he co-wrote the screenplay with Jesse Andrews. Plot details have not been revealed other than the comedy is described as a boy band reunion movie. It seems likely that Reynolds would be playing one of the members of the boy band in Boy Band, but no information has been revealed about his character. The premise is similar to that of the TV show Girls Five Eva, which follows the reunited members of a Spice Girls like girl group decades later. After debuting its first two seasons on Peacock, the show will be back for season 3 on Netflix. It's one of various modern shows that focus on revitalizing something from the past, as the idea is also reminiscent of Hulu's comedy series Reboot. That show follows the members of a popular sitcom from the early 2000s who reunite decades later, hoping to reboot their program. The series was canceled after one season despite strong reviews. In any case, Boy Band is doing something different with the format at a feature film rather than an episodic series.
I could just
I'm
imagine
down.
he's probably the
He's
prick that
Timberlake.
tore the band
Yeah.
apart. Like,
Yeah. He has a successful solo
he's
career.
got tigers and shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's just over the top. Just
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. One thing that I wanted to mention here as well. I found this movie. I saw a list. You see these lists pop up. It's like, mind bending movies, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen them, you need to watch them. So there's a movie called The Endless. As kids, they escaped a UFO death cult. Now, two adult brothers seek answers after an old videotape surfaces and brings them back to where they began.
That sounds
And
familiar.
so this is from the director of, because he directed this as well.
Was it from the early 2010s?
It's 2017.
I'm gonna put the
Okay.
trailer in trailers.
Okay, because he directed Moon Knight and he's directed some Loki,
Oh,
and I think that he wrote some of the Moon Knight stuff as well. We talked about the guy that DC pulled over, and I think that Justin Benson is that person. Not 100% certain, but this was one of those movies that popped up on the list. It's like if you haven't seen this, like mine, it's kind of like Primer, like not like Primer, but kind of has that same idea of like if you haven't, because I haven't seen Primer, but anyway, it's like it's one of those films that like everybody talks about. It's not rated, it's low budget, the whole 9 yards, but it's supposed to be really, really good. So
Primer is a very good movie, by the way.
I just wanted to I dropped that in like the check that out thing.
yeah.
That way if we ever need something to fill a week, we got it.
Speaking of this type of stuff, there was actually a scene in Primer. To me, it's one of the best reactions to like in the real world. If you like, whenever you like someone finding out that time travel is real,
Yeah.
like there's this whole like sequence where the two main characters see an earlier versions of themselves going somewhere. They're like staked out somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and dude goes to like show him some shit, and like I don't know, just the whole reaction to them finding the machine. The main guy like kind of like, oh fuck, like it works, like that whole type of thing. Like it was a really good sequence.
Well, I remember the last time we talked about Primer, we did Time Crimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's one that gets grouped up with that one because it had like a $7,000 budget
Right.
and made
Yeah.
$500,000.
And that's why that scene was so good, man, because it wasn't like, normally if we're watching some time travel, sometimes there's a bit of a spectacle aspect to it, like either some psychedelic warp thing where they're in a machine and it's doing shit, bells and whistles are going off.
Yeah.
But it's very subdued, it's very acting driven, and it's really good.
Yeah, David Sullivan, he's buddies with D'Elia. And he had him on this podcast a while back, and they talked about it. Like he was like, "Yeah, man, like I wanted to be an actor, and I was trying to get jobs and stuff, and couldn't really get one. But then I met a guy at one of these gigs, and he's like, let's just make a movie. It might help us get in." He's like, so we just shot this movie, like no budget.
That's crazy,
and it worked. I mean, it went to film festivals and shit. Like,
right?
Got him in.
Oh yeah, man. Because there's pretty much no special effects in that movie, and they still pull off a successful time travel movie.
Right. I'd be down to check it out.
I watched it when it was. Oh man, I was a teenager.
It's been a long time ago.
It came on it was back when you would get, when you had digital cable, you'd have like 5 HBOs, 5 Cinemaxes to flip through, that type of shit. And it was on one of those pay channels one time, and I just sat with it. I read the synopsis and was like, timey-wimey. Let's do this. And at first, I won't lie, because of my lizard brain at the time, at first it was a bit of a slow crawl. But once that scene hits, you're like, all right, I'm invested.
Right. I mean, you know how many movies, this is kind of a weird thing to say, but do you know how many movies that I inevitably have watched? Like whenever I was a teenager, whenever I was
You have
younger.
a number?
Well,
I don't.
No,
I mean, I could probably, I could process right spitball, but I'm not.
These movies that I watched on IFC, because 2 things were guaranteed on IFC, and only one thing was what I was looking for. And I watched so many movies on IFC because I wanted to see some titties.
Yeah.
And I would just inevitably watch like movie after movie hoping for a titty, but like seeing some great IFC movies. Like, yeah, It's
I remember
weird,
when
but
they used to put titties in movies.
yeah, I know.
Back
What
in the day, like
happened?
every movie had to have at least one set.
Yeah. So yeah, Anyway.
They're like, who is she? Quiet on the set. Who's that? That's the titty girl. Oh, sit down.
Yeah.
We're not ready for
Yeah.
you yet.
Go ahead and
Get them
take
out.
the titties out. Yeah, get them ready. Get them
It's the
ready for
titty
the
girl.
scene. Yeah.
Let me see them. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, they're good. But yeah, because whenever you said Cinemax, like
man.
it was like, you know how many movies I've seen on Cinemax where I'm just looking for a titty back in
Dude,
the day?
I remember one time I'd fallen asleep in the living room watching like The Matrix or some shit at the time. And I'd woke up, it was after midnight, and so the After Dark stuff was on. And I was waking up because it was a stupid song playing. Like, it was like slow jazz, and you just kept hearing, like, and she'll have to do what's wrong to make it right. And I'd look up at the TV, and it's like this blonde just fucking just banging this dude into the ground, dude. But it's Cinemax style, so you don't see anything other than boobs and very over dramatic, like grunting and shit like that. And I just remember like that song played every time there was a love scene. Which I guess the larger thing is I sat through the rest of it.
There's
But
one that sticks with
it
me.
was ridiculous though. I was just like, this is so stupid. Like
The one that sticks with me from when I was a kid was Lucy Liu and this guy were in a pool full of rattlesnakes having sex, and the snakes were biting them. I don't know what
Whoa.
movie it's in, but she was just naked, and I was like, "That's Lucy Liu." And they were
I'm
in.
about
I don't
to
know
give
why
the
they were
weirdest
doing it.
keyword search I've ever typed in.
But yeah,
Lucy Liu snake.
swimming pool. But they're like banging, and these snakes are like just start biting, and they're like, like. And I'm like, what? What is this?
It's only giving me how to get a snake out of a swimming pool.
You can call Lucy Liu.
Woman discovers 12-foot monster snake swimming in hotel.
Y'all check
All
your
right,
toilets before you sit down?
Yes.
Yeah.
I always look in there to see if there's a snake in that motherfucker.
Dude,
Yeah.
I saw a movie where there was some shit like that happened where like somebody got through the toilet, and ever since then it just fucked me up. Irrational fear, man.
Yeah, I always look. Because all I think is I'm going to sit down and get fucking.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, my scrot,
I don't want
because that's
anything.
exactly how we would react. We'd just go, my scrot.
Yeah.
No. I punch my dick off. Something latched onto.
Griffin would pull out his filler boxing gloves and go, "Oh, you trying to fill?"
Yeah. Would snake?
Turns into ready to rumble in your bathroom.
I'm more scared. I'm not as scared of snakes as I am snapping turtle.
Dude, I never realized how dangerous snapping turtles was until like I read up on them after I've handled countless of them.
Yeah.
Like, and I never realized it was like, oh, dude, I was so close to losing a hand several fucking times.
They don't let go till it thunders, dude.
Or until you take a knife and cut their fucking head off, which is exactly what I would do if one bit me.
Well, here's my thing. I guess it's because I grew up watching like little nature shows, so I've always seen how people handle turtles.
Yeah, pick them up.
And it's effective. It's fucking effective.
They can't reach you.
But it is gonna be like there was one that because out here where I live, like a lot of water, a lot of swampiness, that type of shit. So it's prime time turtle town over here. It's
where you going, Trav? Turtle Town,
dude. I live in Turtle Town, man. But anyway, usually in the springtime, there's at least once or twice where I'll either see a turtle or I'll have to move it or some shit like that.
Yeah, I've gotten them off the road.
Yeah, well, I had one that was parked right in my driveway, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have to get out and move this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to run this turtle over. That's fucked up.
Yeah, dude. I've seen Cannibal Holocaust way too many times.
I've seen them in the road trying to get across, and it's like, dude, somebody's gonna fuck you up.
But so I got behind it, grabbed it by its shell and near its legs, and because I saw its face, and I was like, ooh, that looks like that's gonna hurt if you clamp down. And so the minute I did and I grabbed him, it snapped at me, and I was like, ha ha ha, look at the little turtle, you know. But I moved it and everything. But every time I set a turtle down, it looks at me like, you know what? You all right? I should
Yeah.
let you cook.
Thanks. It
Yeah.
would take me forever
so
to get over here. I had no idea there was a Peter Pan movie coming out.
No,
Just
Man,
kind of came out
me
of
neither.
nowhere.
so before we watch this trailer, there's already, you know, of course it's a Disney movie or a
Yeah.
Disney Plus,
And in
and so
2023. So
yeah, so there's a whole
it's going to
plethora
be a
of
completely different movie.
well, no, here's the thing, it's not. But here's the thing going in, guys. Peter Pan is an upbeat, bright movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The tone for this movie is so off that's why it's gonna suck, in my opinion. It's like it's not grimdark, but you'll know what I mean. Like there are movies that Zack Snyder should never make. Peter Pan's one of them, and this is an example as to why.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean.
Well, the
I'm
guy
interested.
that wait a minute.
And
He directed.
well,
He was
well,
the editor for The Green Knight. Whoa. They used the same
you'll see.
editor.
You'll see what I mean, man. Like this story doesn't it doesn't deserve this level of like seriousness. You'll get what I mean.
Hook was pretty serious, dude.
Yeah,
No,
so
dude.
the editor, this guy's an editor. That's all he's ever done is edit movies. Green Knight, bunch of them.
Well, I'm sure it's
This
going
is
to be
his first
edited
movie
and
he's
paced.
ever directed.
Whoa.
Well, it's probably going to be edited and beautifully like paced together, I would assume. But the tone.
Yeah, he's not the editor on this one though. He's just a director.
Oh, okay.
Disney's like, we'll edit it.
You
Yeah.
can't.
You just shoot
We ain't
it.
paying you two different salaries.
That's crazy though. So this will be this guy's first flick. Let's check it out.
I'm ready.
Ready?
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Hitting it. There's the Green Knight. Oh God, who's playing Captain Hook? I hope it's Christopher Walken.
You
Oh,
come
Jude
to my
Law.
world. Okay.
Jim Gaffigan's playing Smee.
I mean, see what I mean?
It's gonna be hard to beat that Dustin Hoffman performance, but
Yeah.
I mean, you could have synced it up with any superhero movie, any Star Wars movie. Like it followed those same beats. But like, here's my thing: just give it a different filter.
yeah, it's the color.
Here's the thing. Normally, I'm a sucker for over dramatic orchestral fucking suspense music playing. I love it. Feels off with this. Like whenever they were jumping from the clock tower, I was like, dude, if these motherfuckers break the sound barrier like Superman and fly to Neverland, I'm no. I'm like, give me a break.
I mean, Superman kind of is Peter Pan, though.
I mean, I mean,
Smee.
are tomatoes really tomatoes, Griffin?
Depends on if you're one of the Lost Boys or not.
I mean, do you dip your orange slices in caramel?
Maybe.
Yeah, you disgust me.
Milk first.
I was,
Look, I'm gonna need to borrow your gloves now.
Always milk first. We got some A24 action here. Past lives.
all right. 3, 2, 1, play. Parasite.
Mm-hmm.
Depressing.
That dude looks familiar.
He's gonna slowly bow out, ain't he?
A24's like, yes, we make these kinds of movies too.
I was waiting for it to get fucked up. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that's for they're good about letting the fucked up part happen in the movie instead of telling you.
that was the guy from The Big Short.
The American dude,
Yeah,
he was in the box.
What
he's
the
the
fuck
Umbrella
is
Academy.
this?
Yeah.
Die Hard 2?
Did y'all watch the
What?
first one?
I didn't
No.
know. What the fuck is Die Hard?
Kevin Hart. It's like a parody
Yeah,
from
with
Oh.
John Cena. Yeah.
Die Hard.
Oh man,
Die Hard. I watched the first one. It was pretty funny.
Yo,
one's
I've been
going
waiting for
straight to
the
Roku.
sequel. Yeah,
So, but yeah.
let's peep
ready.
it.
I mean, I had to pull that thumbnail though. Look at that.
I know,
John
right?
Cena. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh God. Oh shit.
His partner in the first one was John Travolta.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god.
Here we go. Who took my side?
Oh god.
John Cena's gonna save that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Who took my side?
Why does John Cena need to be the play version of Thor now? Whenever it cuts to like the play playing
Oh,
out
yeah.
in Marvel, like why does he need to be Thor now? Oh man, Russell Crowe.
The Pope's Exorcist.
Did y'all know there were 3 popes?
Right now?
Yeah, there's always been 3. There's a white pope, which
No.
is the one that everybody sees. That's the white pope. But there's a
Okay.
gray pope and a black pope. The gray pope
Okay.
is he's in charge of everything.
So we don't see him.
No.
Why?
I mean, you look it up. This is a different podcast.
Oh
It
no,
goes
but
pretty deep.
dude, you done ripped that can of fucking tuna open, dude.
We'll
Let's get
talk
the
about it
crackers
after
out.
the podcast.
Is the Black Pope the dude from Ghost?
Nah, it's just a dude.
Oh, okay.
Is he called?
I just learned this
The
stuff
Black
yesterday. I was like, what? I'm looking it up. I was
I
like,
mean-
oh, this is real.
Do I
What?
need 10 full when we go to have this conversation?
I mean, it's real.
Okay.
It goes pretty
You heard
deep,
it
though.
first. 3 popes.
I'm like the
The
gray
tripope,
pope.
the tripopacy.
The Tripopacy. That's funny as fuck. I'm ready for this though. Russell Crowe.
Let's see what kind of voice he's got. 3, 2,
Yeah.
1, play.
Where's my son? Mm-hmm.
Assisted suicide, but okay.
Okay.
He's Italian. He couldn't shake Zeus.
Oh.
Ooh.
House Stir of Echoes. Is it the soul of the first pope?
Bring me the priest. Oh shit. God damn.
Okay.
Might
Lots
be
of
making a
black goo.
comeback, you know?
Black goo crosses.
I mean, we'll see. I ain't gonna give it a pre-star yet.
Yeah.
But this one, on the other hand, shit.
Last Sentinel.
Who's gonna be standing watch after this?
Kate Bosworth.
Dude. Fair
That guy's
trade.
comment. We see it. Kate Bosworth still has my heart. Okay.
Bad, you know?
All right.
Bad.
3, 2, 1, play. I don't know what this is about. Oh. Oh.
Okay.
Somebody always goes mad.
Yeah.
He about to go sunshine on them.
It's like Das Boot, but above water.
Telling you, man, you got to vet these people before you put them in situations like that. Like,
I know, man.
Ocean madness.
he's like, there's one way to stop it all. You kill everyone.
Yeah.
Give me your wallet.
Fucking crazy. We got some De Niro action. Sebastian.
Man,
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Robert De
Come to my
Niro.
house. Yeah. They come to my house. They eat my food. I love
Okay.
Sebastian.
He's here with that 1, 2, 3, play. Are y'all playing it?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah, they're like super white.
Yeah.
Like Anders.
Yeah.
Oh God. Give a little bit. Oh, then he rubbed it on the window. He really brings that "I got my eye on you, fucker" energy, you know?
Yeah.
It is Anders. No.
It kind of looks funny.
Yeah.
I like Sebastian.
Oh yeah.
Maniscalco.
Now
So
we
this
get a
is
full
that,
trailer.
yeah, Donald
Yeah.
Glover thing, right? Okay. Well, I'm interested to see how this turns out.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh yeah, this was the obsessed with like a darker the fanatic.
Yeah.
This is Selena.
Yes.
It's a series too.
Mhm. Queen Bee.
Very interesting. What is this? Smoking causes coughing. Bet. You know?
Hmm.
Should I already know? I used to have that smoker's cough, you know, back in the day.
Yeah, this is you'll see. Kind of weird. All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Couldn't pass it up.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay.
French Danger 5?
Yeah, right.
The fuck?
Okay.
What
Holy
the
shit.
fuck?
This looks ridiculous.
I think we got a contender for Foreign Film February next year, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Up her. Where you at? I'm up her.
Damn it. I got too many tabs open. Sometimes you get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, I understand.
All right.
I stay lost in the sauce, bro.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. This is Tick Tick Boom, Hamilton, Book of Mormon,
Okay.
screenwriters, songwriters.
Okay.
Oh, it's a musical. They're not real people, though. What's happening? What? He's handling it. Alrighty then.
Looks interesting. It's kind of an interesting concept, I guess.
Really?
I mean, to like have your inner voices,
I
like,
mean,
you know.
Voices did it better.
Yeah.
come on, Griffin. Just say it sucked. You know it did.
Look, I'm gonna be completely honest on the podcast right now. I'll watch anything that has that chick in it because I've always thought she was very attractive
Will you?
since Arrested Development, like back in the day. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not getting into it. We're just not even going to talk about it. It's just not going to happen. But I will watch it because she's in it.
Trav, you seen this trailer?
I've only seen the teaser.
Okay. This one
Oh,
like really shows the story,
yeah.
like how it's gonna play out. With a cock knocker. Y'all ready?
Oh, yeah.
3, 2, 1, play. Glad it's finally coming out. Get the shirt, buddy. Look. Oh shit. That looks great, man.
Jesus Christ.
He's the motherfucking machine.
I'm down.
Yeah, you
I'm
got a
so
party
down to
with me
watch
and it does that shot from up, from the
Yeah.
bottom, like with his belly.
that.
Ah. War.
What is it good for? Absolutely no.
Absolutely nothing.
Violence,
Yeah.
violence. I'm ready to peep this.
All right, here we go.
Closed caption turned on.
3, 2, 1, play.
Oh shit. Okay. He's driving and firing that minigun, dude. How many locations are they going to?
I like how every line is low and slow.
Yeah.
I like to get really close to the microphone.
It's like, let's film everything like a Call of Duty cutscene.
I mean,
Those dudes are beating the shit out of each other.
yeah. I mean, I'm down to watch it, you
Violence?
know? All right, bunker. I'm interested in this. This comment, I really like the idea of haunted bunkers. Do, do you? Film feels pretty retro too with acting, scenery, and edit. All that's missing is black and white screen like Lighthouse. I will give it a watch. All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Violence, violence, violence.
That is pretty original, though, like in the bunker.
Fuck that.
Oh, they're going to get stuck down there.
That's a creepy shot.
Yeah, I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
The thing. He's going to be the one. He's like that dude from the Abyss. Look at him.
Yeah.
They're all going mad. I think that's the thing. Like, nothing kills them. They all just kill each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look at that shot. That's in that clip.
Oh.
We'll put that in. Check it out. You already did, didn't you? No. Let's take it in there.
That doesn't
This
look
feel-
bad.
This looks like an absolute psychological
Yeah.
horror film. Like, I don't think there's anything supernatural going on. They're just
Yeah,
perceiving it
They're
that
going to
way.
kill each other.
Yeah,
I
I
like this
think it's
guy's
just
comment. He says, "I really hope they put this on Blu-ray. I will buy it." And then he commented under it, and he went, "It was good." Fubar,
Bet.
it was
Yeah.
good.
Bet.
yeah. I definitely want to see it.
All right, the endless.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, in New Orleans? Run. Uh-oh. Nope. It's like a UFO cult.
What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
It's like some outer range shit.
I wonder if he saw this before he made Nope, because it had that camera room. Makes you wonder.
I have not seen this, and I actually would like to see it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like,
keep,
that
it
looks...
should be available then.
It looks like it's got just
17.
enough mystery to keep you going through most of the film, and then it might have a good reveal.
Yeah, right.
All right, we're at the end of the trailers. Next week, we're doing Triple R just Triple R.
I just saw at the end of that trailer that there was a suggested video saying the endless ending explained. So maybe we're gonna get some weird out of it.
That's what I like. Finally watching Triple R though, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about this movie.
Even
We're
James
finally
Cameron was like,
I know,
think I loved
right?
it.
It's time to brace ourselves for Raw, dude.
This will be my first Bollywood.
Same.
Yeah.
Like official Bollywood. I mean, back in the day, I watched a little Bollywood
Sure.
from time to, movies for guys who like movies type stuff, But
this is the one I think to do it with.
yeah, really put us in the right spot, the right headspace.
3+ hours, I do believe. So keep that in mind.
So once again, what are we in for?
Wylands. Yeah, 3 hours and 7 minutes.
I mean,
hey, the movie's done so well though. They're gonna I guess they perform a song in the movie. Of course they do, right? They're gonna let them perform it at the Oscars.
Like the Oscars?
Yes.
No.
Oh,
shit.
this movie will probably win an Oscar.
Okay.
When James Cameron was
Why?
talking to that dude,
How?
Apparently it's bad fucking.
This movie looks so ridiculous, though.
Dude, D'Elia was like, when he watched it, he was like, I want to move there and do nothing but Bollywood movies. Bollywood action. Because it's just over the top. Yeah, right here. Nominated for 1 Oscar. Total nominations just across the board, 128, 157.
Wow.
I bet it gets the Oscar. What is it, foreign film? Probably.
Yeah. Well, I'm 3 hours and yeah, I know what I'm doing on my Sunday.
Yeah. I think it's on Netflix.
I think I'm gonna have to break that thing off in segments.
You never know, though. It may be so good that you can't stop watching.
Yeah.
I mean, here's hoping, man.
Oh, and it takes place in the 1920s.
Bet.
Didn't know that. All right.
Why?
Next week.
Finally.
Let's do it. Checks in the mail.